Greetings, Fissels family and friends. I am here to give you the daily pastoral message for Saturday, July 4th, Independence Day, and I'm coming to you from the Soldiers National Cemetery in Gettysburg, where over 3,000 Union dead from the battle are buried, including over 900 unknown dead who are buried here among those who were identified. The Battle of Gettysburg was the greatest battle fought on U.S. soil, in fact, the largest battle fought in the Western Hemisphere. There were more than 50,000 dead, wounded, and missing soldiers from the combined armies. In November of 1863, several months after the battle, President Abraham Lincoln traveled from Washington here to Gettysburg to dedicate this cemetery, to help dedicate this cemetery as the final resting place for those who had died here. It's appropriate to hear again Lincoln's words on Independence Day, because the Declaration of Independence was foundational to Lincoln in his love for country and his vision for the nation. 7 years ago refers to 1776 and that spirit of freedom of 76. When he says that all men are created equal, he is quoting from the Declaration, and of course now we see that we've expanded that concept to all people. Men and women are created equal. But even at that time, the controversial idea that all races are created equal is what Lincoln was trying to point out. He also talks about the great task remaining before us and the unfinished work to establish that new birth of freedom. And we know that that work continues, especially in these times. We know that the work of establishing freedom and justice for all continues, and that the unfinished task remains for our generation and the generations to come, so that all may know liberty, freedom, and justice. The liberty, freedom, and justice that is the God-given right of all people. Hear now the words of Abraham Lincoln. 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note, nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, and that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay strong, and may God continue to bless us all. I look forward to worshiping with you tomorrow. Goodbye for now, and may peace be with you.